Welcome students for online classes. Today we'll start a new chapter, that is chapter 2, Indian economy, ranging from 1950 to 1990. In the earlier chapter we studied about the reforms happened on the eve of independence, that is in the year 1947 and before to that, that is pre-British era and during the British period and even on the eve of independence. So in this chapter we'll study about the state or situation at the moment when colonial rule or the British left India, and what India was and what plans did the India adopt and how the plans were implemented and even how the welfare of the people was ensured. So based on that there are some of the goals based on agriculture, industry and trade policy. So we'll study all these things in this chapter. Okay. In this video, we'll study about the introduction of the Indian economy ranging from 1950 to 1990 and the goals of 5-year plan. Okay, the first topic is regarding the introduction. So, what kind of introduction was made in the year 1950? Okay, the moment we got independence, we had to decide about which economic system we should adopt. Now, what does economic system mean? Economic system is a system of arrangement of production and distribution of goods and services, and it can also be said as a system which would promote the welfare of all rather than the few people in the economy. So there are, what does this particular ecosystem or the economic system tells? It tells to what extent the production should be made, to what extent the distribution should be made, and who will do all the necessary production and the distribution process. There are three main economic system in our current economy or in the whole world, that is the capitalistic system, socialistic system and the mixed economy. So we'll see all the three in detail. Before that we need to know the central problems of the economy. Now what are these central problems? So when you produce something, when you distribute something, when you consume something, you need to know from which sources or why does these things arise. So those things, when the problematic things comes into our economy, when there is a problem of choice, so what do? We have to choose between the things. So this is also known as the central problems of our current economy. So under the central problems of the economy, three main question arises, where the first one is what to produce, second one how to produce, and for whom to produce. So based on these three questions we will see the economic system. Okay. So first one is based upon the capitalistic system, where the capitalistic system can also be said as capitalism. Next is free economy, market economy. Okay, now why do we call capitalistic economy as free economy? First we need to know capitalistic system is basically owned by the private people. Okay, there is no interference of government, so it is known as free economy. And second, why it is called as market economy? It is called as market economy because all the market forces, now which are the market forces? Those are the demand and supply. So based on the demand and supply, what happens? The individuals or the private people produce goods. No, what happens? Only the demanded products will be produced or supplied in the market. So it is known as market economy. And which was the first question, what to produce? So which kind of products will the capitalistic economy produce? The production of goods will be only for the demanded products. If the consumer in the economy demands for any kind of product, that particular product will be produced in the capitalistic economy. Now the next thing, what is the main aim of this capitalistic economy is to make profit. Profit is the main criteria of capitalistic economy. Okay, now the next thing, which was the next question? The next question was how to produce. How to produce in the sense, who will produce? There are two kinds of things in our current economy, that is, one is the capital intensive goods and second is the labor intensive goods. Now what are these capital intensive and labor intensive goods? The manually work done by the laborers, that is known as labor intensive goods, and the work done by the machineries, that is known as capital intensive goods. So the economy or the private people should decide to what extent it should be the labor intensive and to what extent it should be the machinery intensive goods. Okay, which is the last question: for whom to produce? This is the basic question which will be applied for all the economic system. So for whom the products is being produced, the products or the distribution process is made to the end customer or the end consumer. So the distribution of the goods will be based on the price. So what happens earlier in the sense before the money came into existence, what was our current economy? Our current economy was the barter system, where we used to exchange the goods in spite of goods. When money came into existence, what did we do? We started exchanging the goods for money. So what does the distribution of goods? The distribution of goods is based on the price. And lastly, what happens, as told earlier, the capitalism runs on the basis of market forces, that is the demand and supply. Only when there is demand for a product, that particular product is being produced. I'll give an example. In the market, there is a demand for Good Day biscuit, and there is no demand for Parle-G biscuit, for example. Okay, so at this particular point of time, what will the producer do? The producer will produce only the Good Day biscuit in spite of producing this Parle-G biscuit. So this is known as the demanded goods production. Okay, this is about the capitalistic system. Now the next thing is about socialistic system. Now what does socialistic system? This is also known as socialism or centrally planned economy. Now why is it called a centrally planned economy? Main thing we need to know, socialistic system is owned by government or the public people. Okay, basically socialistic system is owned by government, and what kind of products is being produced? The production of goods is only for the needed products. Now what happens? What are the needed products? Needed products are the basic necessities of the life. Maybe any kind of vegetables, any kind of fruits, any kind of products which is very much basic for a individual to consume. It is also, and even what is the main aim? The main aim of socialistic system is the social welfare. Social welfare, or it is also known as nation security, where overall burden is put onto government. At that particular point of time, what happens? The government will decide the welfare and the non-welfare thing to the end public. So this is one of the greater system made by this particular economic system, by which what happens, there will be a proper welfare, there will be equality between the rich and poor in the overall area. And what kind of goods are distributed? The goods distributed based on the equality. But when came to the capitalistic economy, what was the main aim? It was profit making. But at that particular point of time, what was the distribution process? It was based on the price. But when it came to socialistic economy, what happened? As the main aim is the welfare of the people, at that particular point of time, what happens? The distribution of goods is made on the basis of equality. Say for example, if there is 1 kg of rice, so in socialistic economy the price of each and every branded goods will be of the same price. But when it comes to the capitalistic economy, what happens? There is difference of price in each and every quality of the product. So that is a difference where it comes for profit making and when it comes for the welfare of the people. And lastly, the mixed system. It is a mixture of capitalism and socialism. So what happens at this particular point of time? The mixed system, the mixed economy, what will it do? It takes all the good things from both the economies, that is from the capitalistic system and from the socialistic system, and the production of goods is made of even the demanded goods and even of the needed goods. And what happens? Our current economic system is the mixed economical system. So both the capitalism, that is the private people, and even the government people club together or come together and do all the necessary production process, do all the agricultural activities, do all the industrial activities, and even the trade activities, that is known as mixed system. And what happens, who keeps the upper hand or the dominant role under this mixed system? The dominant role will be kept by the government, where when you take up a percentage of 100, what happens, 51 percentage of the control is taken over by government, and the leftover 49 percentage of the control is taken over by the private people, where the government rules over the private economy. And the main aim is, by keeping the social welfare in mind, the profit making or increasing in the profit is made in the economy, that is known as the mixed economy. So, based on this particular three economic system, the progressive economic planning was made. Now, what does this progressive economic planning mean? It means the speedy development or the growth or the plan. What happened at that particular point of time, that is in the year 1950? There was no development in our current there was no development in the economy. There was no proper growth, there was no ideas, there was no plans to be put to our economy. So at that particular point of time, what happened, it was very much necessary for the economy for the speedy development, and even the motive was the economic development or the growth. Now the main thing is how the development process increased. And now first let's know what is economic planning. Later we'll know how the development was increased or how the development was made. First, economic planning means the utilization of country's resources in different development activities in accordance of the national priorities. Now what happens, when we plan something, we should also keep in mind regarding the welfare of our nation. So that happens in mixed system. So what happens, we need to keep into mind regarding the development, that it is very much necessary for our economy on the period of 1950 for the speedy development, because there was no proper development. So the government had to plan very much in detail. So if we do this particular point of thing, this returns will get. So all the necessary things was very much difficult for the people to do. So how the economic development was made at that particular point of time in the year 1950? The planning was made with the help of 5-year planning. Now what does this 5-year planning mean? It is a planning or the idea which was given by our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru regarding the 5-year plan. So now what does this planning mean? It is a proposed list of goals that an economy wants to achieve with a specified period of time. What? First, we need to list the goals, what are the development we need to do, and later we need to achieve that within what time? Within a specific period of time. So what was the specific period of time? That was 5 years. So that is known as 5-year plan, where you plan any one particular sector for that development. You take 5 years of the period. So within that 5-year period, there should be a development. That is known as 5-year planning. So based on the plans, we achieve the goals. Okay. Now when you do planning, you need some of the people, you need any committee, you need members. So that particular commission was known as Planning Commission, which was started in the year 1951 till 2014, and still the Planning Commission is there, but the name of the Planning Commission is being changed. The Planning Commission is changed to Niti Aayog, where it is abbreviated as National Institution for Transforming India, or what does transforming mean? Changing, developing. That is known as Niti Aayog. From the year 2015 till currently, what this Niti Aayog is called as the Planning Commission, where all the plans regarding the 5-year plans, even what 7-year plans is also currently progressing. So all these things is done during this particular process. And the main thing you need to keep into mind, who is the chairman of Planning Commission, or currently known as Niti Aayog? It is the Prime Minister. Whoever changes in the Prime Minister post, that particular person will be the chairman of the Planning Commission. In the year 1951, what happened? Who was the chairman of Planning Commission? That was Dr. Jawaharlal Nehru was the chairman of Planning Commission. Okay, so there are four basic goals and a 5-year plan, which everybody in the sense, whenever the planning commission puts any goal in forward, all these four should be kept into mind, or all these four goals need to be approved. Only then what happens, the goal, we will get a result after this particular developmental process. First is the growth. So what happens when, first let's know what does growth mean. Okay, increase in the production capacity of the economy and increase in the real per capita income is called as growth. Okay, now what is production capacity? When there are industries or when there are agricultural fields, what happens? The farmer or the owner of the industry, they need a good production process, they need good cultivated products, they need good products, items from the end result. So that is known as the production capacity of the economy. And increase in the real per capita income. Now what does per capita income mean? PCI means the average income of the whole nation with a specified area with a specified period of time, that is known as per capita income. When the per capita income increases, what happens? Automatically the income increases. When the income increases, what happens? The average income of the area will also increase. So by this what happens? There will be a growth in the current economy. So how the growth is being estimated? The growth is being estimated with the help of GDP. Now what is this GDP? GDP is the gross domestic product, the production made within a year. Okay, that is known as gross domestic product. Okay, later who calculates this GDP? The GDP is calculated by the Central Statistical Organization. Now, why do this Central Statistical Organization calculates GDP? Just because when we know that there is national income, when we know that there is per capita income, when we know that is there is GDP, who does all the necessary things? Who calculates the national income? Who calculates the GDP? This is a particular office known as Central Statistical Organization. This particular organization, what do? They calculate the income of the economy, they calculate the production capacity of the economy, they do all the necessary things. By this we will get the proper reports from the Central Statistical Organization, to what extent the GDP is increased, to what extent the GDP is decreased. So this particular Central Statistical Organization calculates the GDP. And even what happens when we pay tax, it is very much necessary for each and every individual to pay tax. So what happens when we pay tax? According to our income, based on the income, what do? We pay tax. So at that particular point of time, what happens? In the same way, accordingly, when we pay tax, what happens? Our income can be estimated. Say for example, if I pay 12%, there are tax slabs. Tax slabs in the sense 0% tax, 2% tax, 8% tax, 12% tax, 28% tax. These tax slabs are based on the income, or it is based on the luxury items which you have personally. So what happens? To which tax slab you pay the tax, at that time the income can be estimated. So by this what happens? By this the Central Statistical Officers can also ascertain the GDP or the growth of a current economy. I'll give another example other than this particular GDP. So what happens? How the GDP can be estimated in normal sense or simple sense. We will take GDP as a cake. Okay, at that particular point of time, what happens? When there is increase in the cake, what happens? There will be a growth. But what happens when there is decrease in the cake? There will be decrease in the GDP rate. So this GDP is also connected to the sectors. Now, which are the three main sectors in our economy? Agricultural sector, industrial sector, and service sector. So through the development of these particular sectors, what happens? GDP growth can be ascertained or determined. Okay, that is known as growth. Now let's come to the modernization. Now what does the basic modernization means? Changing one's system into being modern, or upgrading new technology, or adopting new technology, or doing all the necessary things. That is known as modernization. Now what comes to the 5-year plan goals? It is not only necessary, that is adopting of new technology, it is also in the changes of the social outlook. Now what does this social outlook mean? I'll give a small example. What happens? Earlier there was child labor, earlier there was child marriage. Now what happened? There is a slight changes in this particular system, that is in the child labor or in child marriage. So the people or the earlier people are changing, their mindset is changing. So this is also known as the modernization, where the old earlier people are changing their mindset according to the increasing in the generation. That is also known as the modernization, where not only adopting of new technology, in spite of that, what having the ancient superstitions to be changed into the modern meaningful things. Okay, that is known as modernization. So the next thing is self-reliance. Now what is self-reliance? It is also known as being self-independent, not depending onto other countries or not depending onto others. In spite of that, what is the thing? We depending ourselves to be independent. First, what is the meaning? It is avoiding imports of those goods which could be domestically produced in India, that is self-made, or that is known as self-reliance. So what is this importing thing? So what happens? In the year 1950, our economy was not up to the mark. So what the people used to do, the economy used to purchase or import all the necessary, maybe when it comes to food grains, maybe when it comes to the basic necessities, when it comes to all the products or the items to be used in the economy. What happens? Our India was dependent onto other economy in the sense abroad economy. So at that particular point of time, what happened? There was no proper development in our current economy. So when there was no development in our current economy, so what we had to do? We had to become self-independent so that our Indian people or our Indian laborers would start to work. So that is known as self-reliance, where a particular individual becoming the self-independent. Okay, the last one is regarding the equality. Now what happens when the first let's know the meaning. The benefits of growth should reach to the all the sections of the economy or the society, including the weaker ones, that is known as equality. So what happens on nowadays in the current era? What happens? Only the richer people, after bribing the government officials, after corrupting, what happens? Only the richer people are being getting more and more rich, but what happens to the poor people or the poverty level people? They are still in that stage and there is no proper development for them. So it is very much necessary when you take up a 5-year plan, when there is necessary information to are taking into process, when all the things are going together, there is even one more thing should go together, that is equality, where it is very much necessary that there should be no discrimination between rich and poor. In spite of that, what happens? Everybody in the economy should go together hand in hand. And the next one, the main thing which you need to know, that there is a difference between the equal and equitable distribution. Now what is this equal distribution? Equal distribution in the sense, I will give an example of a doctor and a clerk. A doctor and the clerk who works in his clinic. So what happens now? The equal distribution means both, that is a doctor and the clerk, getting paid salary of 50,000. That is known as equal distribution. Now when it comes to the equitable distribution, what happens? Doctor has studied a lot, he has a degree, he has a certificate, he has spent his half of the life in studying and doing the necessary things for the economy. But when it comes to the clerk, easy, when he comes, what happens? It is not necessary that his qualification should be up to mark. Even without qualification or without knowing all the necessary things, he can be a clerk. So there is a difference between the doctor and clerk. So this is known as equitable distribution, where the on the basis of qualification or on the basis of the what you tell, on the basis of the skills, on the basis of knowledge. When you segregate people, when the salary is being segregated, that is known as equitable distribution, where in equal distribution we used to distribute the salary same for both, but in equitable distribution what happened, we based on the skills, based on the qualification, based on the knowledge, we distribute the salary. Maybe the doctor will get 50,000 but the clerk will get only 10,000. That is known as equitable distribution. And lastly, there are even two main things, that is growth and development, where these both are also not the same. So what is the difference between this growth and the development? First, the growth is the constant growth in the economy. Constant growth in the sense increasing in any of the economical structure, increase or the changes or any good things happening to the economy, that is known as growth. Where the growing things for the betterment of the economy, that is known as growth. But when it comes to the development, no, it is a mixture of many things. Development means, it means increasing in the growth, increasing in the equity, or increasing in the structural changes of the economy. Changes happening, what kind of changes? As we saw in modernization, changes in the outlook, that is changes in the mindset of the people, that is also known as development. But when it comes to growth, it is only the increasing or the constant changes in the economy. But in development, what happens, it is even the growth, it is even the equality between the people, it is even the changes happening in the sectors, that is known as the development. Okay, this is about the equality. And next thing, the main, what happens when growth and equity comes together? When growth and equity comes together, what happens? There will be reduction in the economic inequality, there will be no discrimination under the rich and poor, and there will be even the what happens, only the avoidance of the economic power only in few hands. What happens when the people are in the same manner, when there are equal distribution of people, what happens? The favorable people will take over all the power or all the charge. So the concentration should not go only to some of the hands. In spite of that, everybody in the economy should have their equal distribution of the equality or any kind of distribution. Maybe when it comes to the income, maybe when it comes to the food grains, when it comes to the products, it should be equal distribution of income and wealth should be kept in our current economy. Okay. Lastly is uplifting the weaker sections of the society. It is also very much necessary for our economy to grow. What the poverty level people, the poor people should be uplifted, or the government should give proper procedures, proper schemes, proper financial support to this weaker section of the society. So this is about the goals of the 5-year plan, which are the 4 goals, that is growth, equity, self-reliance and modernization. So the assignment part, students, what do you mean by economic system? Define planning, explain the goals of 5-year plan, and lastly, growth with equity is one of the objectives of planning. Justify. Thank you, students.